Hey, and welcome everybody. This is Sherman Ray, and this is the Black Success Magazine podcast. We have been off the air. I can't tell you how long it's been, folks. It's probably been close to, I would say it's probably close to a year that we've been off the air. Took some time off, been doing some other things, and I got to tell you all about it in just a minute, but it's been exciting. And I want to welcome you guys to the show. For some of you, this might be the first time that you're hearing us. And so I'm Sherman Ray, and I am the creator of Black Success Magazine. Started this probably, 8 years ago? 9 years ago. Probably even longer than that. But saw that there was a need for there to be, an outlet for people of color and people who just want to get, a black perspective on life, because we don't get that as much in anymore. But and a lot of things we talk about are really universal. I got to tell you, they're very universal. If you've been listening to the show before, or you listened to some of our old podcasts on Spotify, you probably have realized that a lot of things that we talk about are just, they're common sense things that people have seen over the years, but they just maybe not have heard it from somebody of color. So let me tell you a little bit about me, because I know a lot of you haven't seen me before. It might be your first time you're listening to the show. I am the founder of many things. The last thing I did is I was a restaurant owner, and we did a restaurant. It was called Avery's Coffee. And we were the only coffee roaster and restaurant in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I've been in Las Vegas most of my life. And started the Black Business Chamber of Commerce here. Been a part of numerous TV shows. And so I'm well acquainted with what it takes to start a business, to start an enterprise, to get your nails all dirty, and to come out on the other side of it and just, be as frustrated as you can be, but also be a little wiser. My newest adventure, we're actually starting a nonprofit, and it's called Step Up Nevada. And Step Up Nevada is a nonprofit that's really dealing with people who want a second chance at life. And so we focus a lot on people who are homeless. And people, but veterans, homeless people who really want a second chance in life. We've found a system that I created that we really believe is what it takes to get out of generational poverty. And I've seen it in my own life. And I thought to myself, you know what? I keep watching people breaking their necks over this stuff and not being able to find a cure and a solution to this. And so we created a platform to do that. And so I'm very, very, very excited about that. So we're working on that right now. Once again, it's called Step Up Nevada, and just so excited about that. So what we're going to talk about today, folks, we're going to talk a little bit today about finding your identity and really what it takes to find your identity. Because I know if you're like me and you're like people that I've run into, finding your identity is one of the toughest things. And so we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about that. And I think I hope and I believe that if you listen to this and you really kind of bear down on it, you're going to find that that you're going to relate to a lot of this. I mean, you really are going to relate to a lot of this, and I'm really kind of excited about it. I really am. I'm excited about what you're going to be able to find out about this. So let's take a really quick break, and then we'll be back and we'll talk a little bit more about it. All right, and we are back, folks. This is Sherman Ray. I'm the voice of reason here for Black Success Magazine podcast. Some of you probably checked out our website at blacksuccessmagazine.com, and you probably have seen it, and you're probably wondering why it's taken so long to put out a new podcast. Well, I've been busy. I mean, I really have been busy. I became a pastor at a local congregation here in town. And so for like the last year, at least the last year, I've been working. Oh, it's actually been over a year. Been working on, working for the Lord and working on establishing a brand new church, which is great. So excited about that. And that's really what I've been called to do. I've been a pastor for years. Or excuse me, a minister for years, but was formally asked to be a part of a congregation in the role of pastor just a little over a year ago. So been fun, just having a good time doing that. But I was checking out a podcast recently, and I went, wow, this podcast looks really cool. I'd love to take a look at it because it just looked like it was interesting. And then I looked at it and I went, wait a minute, that's my podcast. that's my podcast. I don't believe it. I'm thinking, we've been. I think when we first started this podcast, we started in 2021, something like that. And we did a lot of shows. And I did not realize that that they're still circulating around. Literally thousands of people have watched or listened to our podcast. And when you first put out this stuff, you don't really realize who's going to listen to you. But evidently thousands of people thought it was made a lot of sense. So at that moment, I said, we got to put out some more. It's going to start putting them out. So we are going to do this regularly. Okay. This is my promise to you folks. We are going to be a regular fixture in your home. Okay. So, go to Spotify, Apple Podcast. You'll start seeing more of these podcasts come up. It took me a little while to even find, where I'd put all this stuff at. So we'll do that. So let's talk. I'm going to do, we'll do about 10 minutes here, folks. We're going to talk about some really foundational stuff that's going to help you find out your identity. I mean, who are you? I mean, what are you? And I hope on the other end of this, it will give you a little bit of strategizing on how to do that. In later podcasts, we're going to talk some more about love. We're going to talk about family. We're going to talk about finances. And we're going to talk about occupations and life. Okay. And so we believe that being a successful entrepreneur, a successful person in life is really at the core of everyone's mission in life. You just want to be successful at life. You don't have to necessarily be the richest guy in the world, even though it'd be kind of nice to be, rich, but being happy, being fulfilled, having a fulfilled life. Okay, that's really important. So let's talk about finding your identity. Okay, so what do we mean by what an identity? Okay, I think that's at the core of it. So many people throw that word around a lot. So I'll back up a little bit and tell you kind of a story. I've grown up most of my life being a singer. So I was an entertainer, sang on the road for many years. And if I told you the name of the group, you'd go, oh my gosh, I can't believe you were in that group. And so as a member of an existing group, whoever hires you, that's what you sing. You sing that person's ideology, that person's thoughts, that person's spirit, that person's, thoughts that's coming out of their head. And I'm a hired gun and I sing their stuff. And that has been the story of my life when it came to music. I was, so my identity, no one knew who I was. They knew what I sang, but that wasn't me. I'm a 20-something-year-old kid singing 50s songs, and I'm going, that's not me. I mean, it's not me. I can sing the guy's songs, but it's not me. Identity is much like that as an analogy. Identity is you that the world sees. you that the world hears. You that the world, when they think about you, that's who your identity is. And many of us don't know who we are, so when we walk around, we're just mimicking people. Let's talk about school kids. School kids, for example, are a great analogy. They're all trying to be themselves. You know what I mean? They go around thinking they're cool, especially middle school kids, and they act like they're so cool. They want to be who they are, but they all look exactly the same. You ever seen that? You ever go and see what these school kids look like? They all look the same. They all have the same haircut. Especially now, the little African American boys, right? They all have the little twisty little braids in their hair, right? Every one of them, not just one or two. Every one of them has the same hair. If they can grow hair, it's going to be in little bitty little braids. Could be short braids, long braids. That's boys and girls. They're trying to find out who they are, but more, they're actually trying to fit in with the norm of society. It's very rare that you see a kid break out of that. A child who doesn't have the braids, a child who doesn't wear the socks, the Air Jordans, and is comfortable in that because they know who they are. Your identity, they know what their identity is. They are not trapped into playing basketball because everybody else plays basketball. They're not trapped in playing soccer or football because everyone else is. It's very rare that you find a child, or an adult for that matter, who does what they feel is the thing to do. Many of those folks, people idolize them. They are the Kanye Wests of this world. They are the Snoop Dogs of this world. And I wouldn't even say Snoop Dogg, because Snoop was actually a part of the same thing that everyone else was doing. He just was more gangster than everybody else. We have to develop a mindset that says, I am this because I like this. Not because everyone else is this, but because I'm this. Just because you're an African American, okay, or you're a Mexican, or you're an Italian, or you're some Russian guy or Chinese or something like that, doesn't mean you have to do the thing that Russians or Chinese or black or Hispanic do. If you like, and all I can speak to is black people because that's who I am. I have always been an outlier in my community for one reason, because I was raised by a mom who was an outlier, and she raised her kids to be different. Okay, does that make sense? I was raised by a little Jamaican lady who came to this country barely speaking American, okay, because she spoke English, but American. She had a very thick accent, Jamaican accent. And so when she raised her little Jamaican boys, we were raised different. We were raised Caribbean. We were raised like little Caribbean kids living in America. So for me, it was not so much traumatic because it's all I knew, but I knew there was something different between myself and the kids in my own neighborhood. Was it easy? Sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't, but I can tell you it was very different. It was very different than I saw other kids who fit in very well, fit in just like everybody else. So as I'm growing up, I'm trying to find myself, find out who I am, what I'm doing, how I'm doing this, why I don't fit into that same niche as everyone else. And I was treated differently because I was not like everyone else. So that's neither good nor bad. It's just the way it was. You, as a person who is on a success journey in life, have to know that, yes, you might be color-wise the same as everyone else, okay, or same as your culture is, or same as this community is, or something like that. And yet, you've got to be the outlier, knowing that you want this or you want that in life, or you will settle for this or you'll settle for that, or this is something that appeals to you or doesn't appeal to you. Not just because you're black, okay, but because you're an individual. There are 7 billion people on this planet, and you make up you, if that makes sense to you. There's only one you. There's only one you that is your height, your weight, your eye color, your hair texture, your skin color, all of that makes up you, and there's only one of you that has your life experiences. So stop trying to be like everyone else. Just because you have the same color and from the outside you look like you're, from the same community, doesn't mean you have the same life experiences. Because I know I've not. I'll tell you, I definitely have not had the same life experiences as somebody who looks, even my brother, even my brother who was, that I grew up with. We had different life experiences. We had different friends. They treated us different. We have different personalities. I could speak to certain people that he could not, and vice versa. Which means my likes, my dislikes, there's no surprise that they would be different. You've just got to figure that out for yourself and stop trying to be like everyone else. That's the whole point of this. Quit trying to be like everyone else. If you want to read a book while everybody else is out doing whatever they're doing, read a book. If you choose in life that you want to swim, you want to play golf like I do. I play golf. I teach golf right now. I teach golf to a bunch of inner city kids now. And I try to get them to understand, guess what, guys? Just because your buddies are playing soccer and stuff like that doesn't mean that you're any less or better than because you're playing golf. You're just different. And they will accept you because of you, not because you play the same golf game as them. And if they don't, that's fine. That's fine already. Okay? You're a different person. You will find other people that will be that core group of friends that will gravitate towards you, and you'll gravitate towards them. Don't even worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, we're done. Okay, I said I was going to only a couple minutes. When we return, folks, when we get back, we're done with the podcast right now, but I'm making a promise to you that we're going to begin to do these on more of a regular basis, so that you can get some cool things. Like we're going to be talking about love, life, finance, family, and we're going to be talking about all those things that are going to make you better. We're going to talk about real estate. Okay, I know a lot about real estate. We're going to talk about starting a business. All those things to help you become, I think a better person. Okay. Anyways, if you've not gone to our website yet, folks, we'll make sure that it's up and rolling. We're going to add some new cool stuff to it. Probably add a blog to it. So I think that'll be cool. And to get you, we're going to start really doing this because it was something that I dreamt up many, many years ago, Black Success Magazine. We might even, at the end of the, maybe towards the beginning of next year, start the magazine. Gosh, wouldn't that be cool? Start the magazine back up again. All right. Anyways, this has been Sherman Ray for Black Success Magazine, the podcast, folks. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. We'll see you again next time for our next broadcast. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.